Hello, grade 8s. We're moving on today to the slope of a line. Now, slope is a little bit like steepness of a line. So I have got 4 graphs here, and the red line represents the line on our grid. Okay, so we have a line that is horizontal. We have a line that is going up from left to right. We have another line that is going up from left to right. And now we have a line that is going down from left to right. And we wanted you to, in fact, think about ordering these in terms of steepness. Okay, so we're going from the least steep to the most steep. Okay, now when I do this in an active class, most students will in fact go, this is the least steep, that's the second, that's the third, and this is the most steep. Because this hill looks crazy steep. If you were to go down that in a skateboard, you would be flying. But it's not, okay? The least steep of them all is in fact this one. That is the least steep. And this one here is, in fact, the most steep. Okay? What is the difference between those two? Well, the difference is this one is going up from left to right, and this one is going down from left to right. So this is the least. Then we would have this one here being number 2. Because it's flat, it's not going up or down, okay? This one is starting to go up from left to right, and this one is going up more steeply from left to right. The reason this is the least steep is because it has a negative slope. If something goes down from left to right, we call it a negative slope. This is a positive slope. This is also a positive slope because it's going up from left to right, both of those. This one here that's neither going up nor down, we call that a zero slope, okay? So instead of just describing them as the most or the least, we can actually give them a number. We can calculate it, okay? So slope comes from a ratio of 2 numbers. And usually we write those 2 numbers as a fraction. And that fraction is always in lowest terms. Well, what are the 2 numbers? The 2 numbers are the vertical height. Remember, vertical means you're going up and down. And that is compared. That's what a ratio does. It compares 2 numbers. And it's compared to the horizontal length. And remember, horizontal goes left and right. So we often use this formula here to display slope. So we say slope is equal to the rise. So the rise can either go up or down. And it is the run which goes horizontal. Okay, so we use 2 numbers. How much does it go up or down? That's our rise. And how much does it run going across from left to right? Okay. So we want to do a couple of examples. So I'm going to have you copy down the grid here that you can see. Okay. And so just make a grid. And you're going to go down about 8 spaces, 8 lines, and you're going to go across about just as many, and then make ticks up by 4, down by 4, and then across by 4, and both left and right. So now we're going to put a line on there, okay? So I'm going to draw a line on this graph. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go left 4, and then I'm going to go down 4, and I'm going to draw my line, and I'm going to continue it up until I go down 2, and I go right 2. Okay? So the tip of the arrow here is at, oh, I made a mistake. The tip of the arrow, so I'm going to have to draw this again, should be, whoops, at left 4, down 4 is what I said, right? So left 4, down 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, down 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the tip of my arrow on the left side. On the right side, it's going to be right 2 and down 2. Okay, so there is the line. We want to find the slope on that line. So remember that slope is equal to the rise over the run. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a triangle, and we're always going to start on the left side. So we're starting on the left, and we're going to work our way to the right. Now to get to that other tip, we need to go up. We're either going to go up or down first. This case, we have to go up 1, 2 spaces, right? That's going to get us to there. So going up is positive, and we've gone 2 spaces. That's our rise. Okay? So our slope is going to equal rise over run. Now what's happened? We've gone up 2, so that's positive 2 rise. Now we have to see how much we run. So from there, we're going to have to go to the right, and that's in the positive direction, right? Going up is positive. So we're going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. So that's going to take us positive 6 in the horizontal direction. So the vertical direction was up 2, which is positive 2, and the horizontal direction was positive 6. So our fraction right now is positive 2 over positive 6. Now this can reduce. I'm hoping you recognize that this can both be divided by 2, and slope is always given as a fraction in lowest terms. So 2 divides by 2 to give you 1, and 6 divides by 2 to give you 3. So this has a slope of 3, and it's positive 3, because a positive divided by a positive gives us a positive. All right? Let's go again. Try a second example. And again, draw another grid. You can draw it next to the last one. And in doing this, okay, we're going to draw again a line. So I'm going to start left 2, and I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to start my line there. And I'm going to go down until I end at right 2, down 2. Okay? So my line goes from left 2 up 4 to down to right 2, down 2. That's my line. And I want to find the slope on that line. Now remember that slope is rise over run. So we're always going to start on the left side. Okay, so this is the left side of the line. Now to get to this side, I can't go up, I must go down. So I'm going to go do my rise first. So I'm going to rise, in fact, down. How much do I have to go down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till I get to that point, right? So in fact, I'm going to rise in the negative direction. So that's going to be negative 6. And then I'm going to run. Well, I'm going to go in the positive direction running, and from there I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 in the positive direction. So that is positive 4. That forms our triangle. We're going to go up or down first, and then we're going to go horizontal or left to right second. So our rise was a negative. That gave us negative 6 over the run, which is positive 4. Now again, This has to be a fraction in lowest terms. We don't go to a mixed number, but in this case, we can, in fact, divide both of these by 2. So 6 divides by 2 to give us 3. 4 divides by 2 to give us 2. And a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So this is a negative slope. You should recognize it's a negative slope because it's moving down from left to right. Okay? That's our final answer. A positive slope would be going up from left to right. So that was a positive slope. Okay? Let's do a third example. Okay? So again, we're going to have a grid and we're going to draw a line. We're going to go left 2 and we're going to go up 2 and we're going to start our line there. And we're going to go then right 2 from there. There's our, so the other end would be in fact right 2 and up 2. So that's where we're going from left to right. So remember, slope is equal to rise over run. So how much do we rise from the left point to the right point? Well, we don't go up at all or we don't go down at all. So in fact, our rise is 0. How much do we go from left to right? Well, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces in the positive direction. So that's going to be positive 4. Now, if you took your calculator and you went 0 divided by positive 4, you'd end up with 0. That's like taking 0 pizzas and cutting them up into 4 pieces. Well, what would you still have? You'd still have 0. All right, on to the last question here. All right, so with this question, we're again going to draw a grid, and we're going to insert a graph. So some graphs are point to point and some graphs are tip to tip. So if we have points, let's maybe draw those first. So this is going to be a graph where we're going to go right 1 and up 2 and drop a point. And then we're going to go right 1 and we're going to go down 2 and drop a point. And as you know, that the line goes and connects those points together. And in fact, it goes beyond, just like when we graphed a line from an equation. If there are points, we're going to use those points to determine the distance that we rise and run, okay? So in this example, we are rising 1, 2, 3, 4 from one point to the other. There is no point that's left of the other, so it could even be a drop of 1, 2, 3, 4. So in fact, the slope here could be a rise of positive 4, or it could be a drop of negative 4, okay? Now, it's not going to matter whether you choose positive or negative on this, okay? Once we figure out the slope in the end, it's not going to matter, okay? Now, how much do we run? Running is going horizontal. Well, we don't go horizontal at all. We don't move left or right, so that's going to have a run of 0. Now, I want everyone to take their calculators and go 4 divided by 0. Remember, that line means to divide, okay? When you take 4 and you divide it by 0, you get usually an E on your calculator, okay? And that calculator, E, stands for error, or sometimes it's ERR, okay? And it means error. So in mathematics, it is illegal to divide by 0. You can't take 4 pizzas and cut them up into 0 pieces. It just doesn't work. You can't do it in math. You still have your 4 pieces. You can't have 0 pieces if you start with 4. So because we're not allowed to divide by 0, if we have this, we don't say the slope is in error. We say we can't find the slope by giving it a number, right? It is what we call undefined. It is a word you must use. If you leave it at 4/0, I will give you a half mark. If you then write undefined, I will give you a full mark. Okay? So straight up and down like that is an undefined slope. A horizontal line that doesn't go up or down, just directly from left to right, has a 0 slope. A slope that goes down from left to right must be a negative slope, and a slope that goes up from left to right must be a positive slope. So use those general ideas when you are calculating your slopes. Remember, count the spaces to go up or down and the number of spaces to go across, and it's the rise over the run in lowest terms. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care. See you soon.